Combine cheating on your spouse and texting your mistress, and you get the latest phone-related phenomenon, CHEXTING. It's something apparently we've seen in both the Tiger Woods and Jesse James scandals. With us now are psychotherapist and Care.com contributor Dr. Robi Ludwig and divorce lawyer Raoul Felder. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
So yes, both Tiger and Jesse James were allegedly caught exchanging pretty racy text messages with their supposed mistresses. Raoul, legally, how do these come into play in a divorce?
It's a work in progress. Every lawyer, every divorce lawyer will tell you that when a spouse comes in and complains about their spouse, there are other witnesses in the room. And the other witnesses are all these text messages. It seems you can't commit adultery without getting involved in text messaging. And some of these are the most ridiculously intimate things.
Yeah. And it's because, isn't it, Robi? It's so easy to send a text that you'll regret later. It's almost making cheating easier.
Yeah, it makes cheating in the old days look really difficult. There are so many boundary issues. So it is really easy to send a racy text message, and one thing can lead to another. And what happens with a text message, very similar to an email, is you can look at it throughout the day and get turned on and stimulated, which leaves someone to be quite impulsive if they want to be.
How often in counseling couples do you find that arguments break out over text messages?
You know, it comes up, but it's certainly becoming more and more frequent because really your phone is becoming like your computer. It's almost like your personal biography, your personal diary.
It is.
So you can really tell a lot about a person if you look at what's going on in their phone and as well as their computer.
If a woman takes her husband's phone, Raoul, and brings it to your office and shows you his incriminating text messages, can you look at it?
Oh, now you're talking about stuff that's borderline. Lawyers have problems with this. There's no really clear law on texting. There's a lot of clear law on emails. Different states have different laws. So if you analogize that to emails, it could be legal or illegal. There's another problem here. You know, if you get something illegally in a criminal case, it's suppressed. In a civil case, there's no just doctrine of suppression. So you could have somebody who's committed a crime by getting the thing, but yet the divorce judge hears it. And there's an intimacy about it. Somehow these idiots are sitting alone in the middle of the night and thinking nobody else sees them and so forth. Many times I had a wife say to me, could you believe it? I was in bed and he was sitting at the foot of the bed doing this stuff.
Disgusting.
There's a lot of denial when it comes to texting, and if it's easy to do, it can be done anywhere. It can be done while food shopping at the supermarket.
Raoul talked about the intimacy of these texts. Do you find that the couples you counsel consider texting in and of itself, even if it doesn't go anywhere?
It's a betrayal. It's a betrayal.
So yes,
and
cheating.
There's deceit. It's really more emotional cheating if it doesn't lead to sex, but very often these situations do lead to sex. So it's either a prerequisite to something physical happening, or something physical has already happened.
You're opening a dangerous door.
A slippery slope.
And they all become Ernest Hemingway. You know, when they write, oh, I smother you with kisses from top to toe.
Everybody's a poet, a sexual poet.
It's so true. Are you finding that this is becoming a vehicle for spouses catching one another cheating?
Well, you know, that's going to be there forever and ever. It's a little harder to get the text messages and the emails, but it's out there, and 15-year-old kids are working on it right now, how to break this thing up, and eventually it'll be very simple to do.
Are laws going to change given the advances in technology?
Well, the problem is law is the only science, or quasi-science, that looks backwards, not forwards. So by the time the law gets to it, they're 2 light years ahead of whoever making the laws.
What do you say to your couples? What do you say to a woman who suspects her husband is cheating? Should she look at her husband's email and text?
I think that's dangerous. You don't want to then be the person who's mistrustful and going into somebody else's property, but you want to sit and you have a conversation because obviously the communication is breaking down. And that's what's important here, to say, listen, I sense you're not happy with me or things going on in the relationship. I'm paranoid. We need to deal with this.
All right. Robi, Raoul, thanks so much for your insight.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.